What is up, YouTube? I'm Cordy. We're going to be covering some more OCG deck profiles. Now, the first thing I want to say is the OCG is always a magical place. They have so many cool concepts that kind of just, sometimes you just don't get off the ground. Other times they get off the ground and the TCG just doesn't pay attention to them, which is kind of a strange thing, because considering a lot of their meta becomes our meta. Now, we're going to be looking at some stuff that isn't super meta-esque today, but you have to remember the OCG still has certain limitations that we don't have here in the TCG, and those limitations are pretty limited in some of their windows and things that they themselves are able to play. So the first deck we're going to be looking here is Paleo Frog. Now remember, the OCG started getting more cards free from the OCG ban list. Totally awesome. Started being freed up a little bit more now. But we're going to be looking at our boy, triple copies of Toru Porun. He is a 450, 500 TCG. Someday will eventually get most of the normal monsters that we're missing. I hope it's sooner than later, but I think this is adorable. A strange one-eyed monster that can fell an enemy with a single stab of its spear. Interesting. But nonetheless, this is our vanilla that we've chosen for this deck. So we have triple copies of this because starting off with Rescue Rabbit into the Totally Awesome is pretty standard for what we want to do in this deck. Like, Andy's an Aqua, so haha. Oh, excuse me, haha. Just kidding. Silly Aqua monsters. We have the one copy of the Gamma Seal, one copy of Prankatops, triple copies of Rescue Rabbit, because like I said, being able to normal summon this starter combo is very important. We have the one copy of Ash Blossom, triple copies of Saltwap Frog. So the thing that makes me happy about this is he does dump Aqua. Granted, Aqua doesn't have a lot of support in the game. I mean, you've got like Fish and all the other guys. Like, you do kind of run into splicing issues and things like that. But he does really feed into a lot of this stuff, plus this guy. We also have the triple copies of Max C for draw power. One copy of Unifrog. This card can attack your opponent directly when this card successfully attacks. If you control a frog monster other than Frog the Jam or Unifrog, it destroys a spell and trap card. So if we actually end up opening up Swap Frog, we can get the additional normal on this, and then bring up the Ronin or something along the degree. Just if you have the other frog on the field and do your thing. Plus you've got two copies of Ronin Tonin and the triple Dupe Frog. The big thing with Dupe Frog, though, is you can still do the solid lock on your opponent where your opponent can't do anything. Well, I mean, they can still bounce these guys, let's be real, but no attack is still pretty good. We also have the two copies of Gradle Slime Jr. When this card is normal summon, we can target a Gradle monster in our graveyard. For the rest of this turn, you can't special summon. You can special summon one monster from your hand. One Aqua type monster with the same level and attribute as a special summon monster with this card effect. When this card is destroyed by balance in the graveyard, special summon a Gradle monster from your deck. Hey, he floats into himself. Paleo cards. We have the one copy of the Lenelshlian, whatever the heck this thing's name is. Two copies of Storming Mirror Force. Two copies of Infinite Imperm. Triple copies of Olenoides, triple copies of Dynamiscus, two copies of two copies of Compulse, triple copies of Candina, and the one copy of the Imperial Order. Down here in the extra deck, we have two Hipposhigan, excuse me, two Miss Starboy, one Nightmare Cerberus, one Nightmare Phoenix, one Unicorn, one Decode Talker, one Boral Sword, one Avermax, two Opobenia, two Totally Awesome, one number 45, and two copies of the Animalculus. Wrapping up the first list. What is this? OCG, what are you doing? Like, oh boy, we have more water. We've got a Phantasm Spiral deck, actually, for you guys today. I really like how we have a Sky Striker extra deck with this, minus the Kagari. Like, who actually wants to be able to go into Kagari in their deck with this? Oh wait, we're not going to be able to. So, one thing I like this deck for being a rogue anti-meta choice. That's the first thing I'll say. Outside of that, honestly, what this deck actually strives to do is just disrupt the opponent. Remember, OCG gets triple of the good cards while we don't. So, unfortunately, based on that, we can't go full abuse on this deck, but nonetheless, we can still do some pretty cheesy things. So, of course, we have the triple copies of Megalomasher. I'm kind of surprised to see that we're not playing Fossil Dig to search for Megalomasher, but that would be a little bit too critical, I think. We have the 2 Ripple copies of Pot of Extravagance, triple copies of Card of Demise, 1 copy of Terraforming, triple copies of Pot of Duality, triple copies of Cosmic Cyclone. So, in the grand scheme of things, this card is pretty goddamn good. Being able to get the full removal of anything. Also, you don't have to worry about those Mystic Mines coming back if they're removed from play. 500 IQ plays, by the way. We have triple copies of the Pacifism, the Phantasm City. Getting that token every single goddamn turn is honestly ridiculous. Like, that's the one reason why I think that this deck is good. Is that clear token that you get plus the ability to search. What the heck? And combined with the stun deck, yeah, it really does give trouble. Then we have the triple copies of the Phantasm Spiral Battle, of course. The 1 copy of the Spiral Power. I do know that this doesn't come up a lot. I know a lot of builds kind of stray away from this, but kind of see this come up as a one of doesn't surprise me. It shouldn't surprise you guys, but I do like this. We have the triple copies of Metaverse, triple copies of the Sea Stealth Attack, of course, the best card in the deck. Of course, the triple there can only be 1, the triple Macrocosmo, triple Skill Drain, and of course, the 2 copies of Solemn Judgment. Extra down here, we have 1 Relinquished Anima, triple Shizuku, 1 Kaina, triple Hayate, 1 Needle Fiber, 1 Phoenix, 1 Unicorn, 1 Triple Burst Dragon, 1 Ningrisu, 1 Boral Sword, and the 1 copy of Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. Wrapping up this deck. Hey, you know, OG gotta get the 1 bad card in the deck, right? Say the least. This man just took a Sky Striker core, said, I want to play Pacifism today for locals. We did it. Like, actually. And then last but not least, a little bit of love for my Cyber Dragons out there. You guys all know who you are. You know who loves this deck. We have the 2 copies of Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, triple copies of Cyber Dragon, triple copies of Cyber Dragon Core, triple copies of Cyber Dragon Hertz, triple copies of Naxter, triple copies of Galaxy Soldier, triple copies of Maxi, triple copies of Called by the Grave, triple copies of Cyber Emergency, 1 copy of Cyber Repair Plant, 1 Foolish Barrel, 1 Feather Duster, triple copies of Machine Duplication, 2 copies of Overload Fusion, 1 copy of Desires. Now this is spicy. We are packing in triple copies of Power Bond. Now, fusion summon 1 machine monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or field as material, and it gains attack equal to its original attack. So you're essentially doubling your monster's attack. But they worded it this way so you know those bad Chimera attacks don't get rewarded for this. And then during the end phase, after this card is activated, you take damage equal to the amount of attack gained from this effect. I don't know what it is about this card in the TCG. I don't think we really like this card. We know this card is good, alright? Like, for what we want, yes, it is a powerhouse. It does a lot for the deck. But, I don't know. It kind of gets glossed over so much, and it's kind of a shame, because the card really does do a lot for the archetype. It's just, I guess there's just better cards, obviously. Also, we're not playing the Cyberload Fusion, which is pretty interesting. We have the 1 copy of the beautiful Cybernetic Overflow, and of course 2 copies of Red Reboot. Man, OCG's really got problems with random trap decks. Now, we have the 1 copy of Al Mirage, 1 copy of Genius, 1 Gadget, 1 Zeger. Then we have the 1 copy of the Arma Isle, the Star Guide Dragon. So it's 2 effect monsters, can't be used as link material. When you target 1 face-up monster's card points to, Flash summon 1 monster from your hand in defense mode with the same original level as that monster to your zone this card points to, but its effects are negated. Cyber Dragon Extender, go. We have the 2 copies of Nova, 2 copies of Infinity, 1 Cyber Twin, 2 copies of Rampage, 2 Mega Fleet, and 1 copy of the Fortress Dragon. Down here in the side deck, we have triple Lancia, 2 copies of Denko Rekka, triple copies of Phantasmic, 2 Ghost Ogre, triple MST, 1 Red Reboot, and 1 copy of Vanity's Emptiness. Wrapping up this deck profile. Whew, the OCG, I'm excited to see where you guys are going in the future. Please leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think about these lists, and I'll catch you guys on the peace side. Yeah. The ride never, well, truly ends. Thank you, patrons. Without you guys, I don't know what I'd be wearing in these videos. I might be a truffle shuffle incident all over again. Guys, please also check out VanCole40 for some awesome Vanguard content. Some other interesting stuff you might find up here on the left or in the description as well. Thanks for watching.